A big thank you to all our wonderful volunteers. We appreciate you all so much. Our speaker today is Reverend Mary Morgan. But first, a song from Elise Carver.
Thank you, thank you. Grant, can you turn my monitor over here up a little bit? Thank you. There it is, awesome, thanks so much. This song is called Trust Love, and it's by Ricky Byers and Reverend Michael Beckwith. Trust love, trust love, trust God, that love is everywhere, that we are here to be the perfect givers of love and receivers of love. Final word. Trust love, trust love, trust God, that love is everywhere, that we are here to be the perfect givers of love, receivers of love, and love will have the final word. No one ever loses when one trusts in love, for love is to live within the holy breath of God. Love is the essence of the Spirit that is known for always giving. Love always sees the truth beyond the appearance that is showing. Love judges not, and love renews. Yes, love renews. Love is a healer. Oh, yes, it is. Love loves to love. Love loves to love, and we'll keep on being loved, and we'll keep on. Is the only way. So trust love, trust love, trust God, that love is everywhere, that we are here to be perfect givers of love and receivers of love, and love will have the final word, and no one ever loses when one trusts in love, for love is something that will not ever fail. Love is the essence of the Spirit that is known by always giving. Love always sees the truth beyond the appearance that is showing. Love judges not, and love renews. Yes, love renews. Love is a healer. Oh, yes, it is. Love loves to love. Love loves to love, and we'll keep on being loved, and we'll keep on being loved. This is its only way. So trust love and lean on love. Trust God, that love is everywhere, that we are here to be the perfect givers of love and receivers of love, and love will have the final word. Yes, love will have the final word.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Love will have the final word. I'm going to sneak over here and get this music stand if I can. Thanks so much. Oh, thank you. All right. Good morning, everyone. Oops, excuse me. Sorry about that. We'll get that. Let me get that. It's just like at your house. Things go flying. You got to pick them up and get them going. How's everyone doing this morning? On this chilly morning, I was laughing with my family in Chicago and telling them, oh, it's 80 degrees here. I'm sorry. And then all of a sudden I looked at the weather today and I said, oh, you know what? It's warmer in Chicago today than it is here. So there you go. You know, I follow my intuition as much as I can try and can. And I forgot that it was the Bears of Love, but something in me this morning said, oh, print this out and take it with you. And it's written by that beautiful sage, Winnie the Pooh, okay, our little bear. And Winnie the Pooh says, the most beautiful things in life are not things at all. They're people and places, memories and pictures. They're feelings and moments and smiles and laughter. Isn't that true? And I said, oh my goodness, what a lovely way to start the day. So my talk is on divine love. And I know we have a picture of divine love in our mind as being that all power, that God power, that essence, that universal creative intelligence and all that stuff. And sometimes for myself, and I don't know if it happens with you, but sometimes it's a beautiful intellectual thought, but I need to take it in. Right? I need to embody that in a way that makes sense to me and that I can live from that spot rather than just talking about it. But I wanted to share what Ernest Holmes, he had a couple things to say about it. Love overlooks the little differences that we have and finds a point of reconciliation with others. Love creates tolerance and human understanding, without which we become really divided against ourselves, and without which we most unconsciously become filled with criticism, condemnation, and false judgment. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed that when you're mad at somebody and you shut that love off, all of a sudden you go, why I oughta, and you have all kinds of things that are about them that you don't like in your gut, and another thing, and then you go on and on and on, and what happens? You start to marinate in that, right? And then you start to live that out. He goes on to say, no one can be happy or enjoy great fulfillment in life until he has come to see that most people try to do the best they can. I thought, oh boy, think about that for a second. All those people that have made you mad or disappointed you or lousy relationships or icky jobs or whatever it was, right? Maybe if we looked at it from they were doing the best they could. Oh, wow, with what they had. And now whether or not they choose to grow, that's a whole nother ballgame. But guess what? They were doing the best they could at that moment. And when we are able to reach out beyond the indifference and the coldness of life, reach through all the intolerance and the unkindness, only then do we meet the divine center, which is forever established in every person. Isn't that interesting? Now, if we sat there and said everybody's all God, right, which is we say, that beautiful Walter Starkey book, It's All God, they're all God. And there is everybody out there outside of ourselves. What if that were true? Which it kind of is. I think so. But what if it was? What if we acted that way? What about the energy that we would send out versus, feeling justified? I was watching Mel, I always forget her name, the one that just wrote Let Them. And I've been practicing all the different let them things. And she talked about how when she's standing in the food store line and, it's 6 people deep and there's only one checker and you're looking at your watch and you got to get going and why haven't they done this? And then you're talking, the next person, can you believe how bad this is? Da-da-da-da-da. What if you just let them? What if you just take that moment to be present? What if you just take that moment to just be and pay attention to that divine love that's moving and flowing through you? Remember, this teaching always tells us that at the heart of our teaching, that we're made in the image and likeness of God. And so if we're made in it, guess what? They are too, right? All those theys, they are too. We're all made in the image and likeness of God. However, the big rub is that we can only do and let that happen what we let God do through us, right? And so the issue becomes, how tuned in am I to that divine love? How much am I tuned into saying, I am made in the image and likeness of God? And that just doesn't mean the image, the physical image. It means the spiritual image. It means everything that I'm using. It doesn't mean I give up my humanness, but it means that I take on the patina of going, I am God personified. And maybe look at your neighbor and say, I am God personified. Now look at them and say, you are God personified. And guess what? It may be a revelation. Maybe you walk around and say, oh my gosh, I'm God personified. But, we have that beautiful saying that thoughts are things and thoughts create things. And that's true. But it only happens, why? Because when we're aligned with that spirit, when we're aligned with that, the good things that occur, it's because we've aligned ourselves with that divine love, that perfect love that's at the very heart and soul of our being. Right? This sounds so crazy, but this came to me this morning at like 5:30 in the morning. I have a broom closet, and you know how I live. I always say, I lovingly say I live in a thimble. I love my little house. It's a little house and it's old, but I love it. Okay, so the broom closet, I always find myself, I'm always walking by and shutting the broom closet, and it never stays shut. And I'm like, for God's sake, you're kidding, this thing just stays shut. And I'm just like, and then I looked in, and there's that little gizmo. It's like these two little rollers, and the thingy has to fit in between it. Well, I realized it was tweaked. So I went, oh. So I tweaked it, shut it, and went, ta-da! And that's like our thinking. We got to get in alignment. We may go, God, I'm doing everything. I'm writing the affirmations. I'm saying stuff. I'm talking to people. I'm listening to stuff, and nothing's happening. We've got to get into alignment. And then there's also the time of, everything happens by divine timing. Everything happens. And maybe whatever it is you're knowing and wishing and wanting to happen, maybe you weren't ready for it, right? So there's a divine timing that happens. But it also requires immediately that we get in alignment with that divine love. You wake up every morning and say, I am made of this beautiful God power, and I'm using it for good in the world today. Just saying that, you've now set your attention. And what happens? Everything is a frequency. Everything is a vibration. I heard we had a practitioner seminar, workshop a couple weeks ago. And the guy made a really interesting observation. He said there was an article in Popular Mechanics, and Popular Mechanics has now proven that the mind that we use is a divine mind, and it's a higher consciousness, and we're just acting it out according to our thoughts. We all went, oh, gee, imagine, he knows about science of mind, who's been talking about it since before 1900s, even before Ernest Holmes, right? This teaching is an innate thing, and it's about getting to know and familiarize yourself with, hey, how is God operating through me? Or, I love what Dr. Moyer always said, how am I showing God a good time? And I thought, well, God's not having fun doing this spreadsheet right now, I'll tell you that. And so, or whatever it is you're working on that's a pain in the neck. And I said, I was literally working on a spreadsheet yesterday, and the numbers were, oh my God. I'm like, why is it that it's here and it's not there, and the formula isn't working? What's going on here? And I said, all right, stop it right now. God, you do it. God, you do it. I know God knows how to do this. And bingo, bingo, bingo. All this stuff lined up, I'm like, there it is. You adjusted the little roller, you adjust the little numbers. It's like getting into that space of saying, I allow God to do through me that which I desire. Remembering that A lot of times, anything that we want to create, a lot of times we think we have to roll up our sleeves and we have to do it with our human self. Well, that's true. We have that beautiful saying here, treat and move your feet, which means, you know what, you put your intention out there, but you got to do stuff to move towards it. And what does that mean? It means following your guidance. Follow guidance as to how to create that thing in your life, right? But the idea is to stay in the space of knowing what I'm feeding my mind. It's going into the subconscious, and the subconscious never, it doesn't make any decisions. It just obeys. That's why it's like, you know, people come in and they say their affirmations, and they say, okay, I am, how would we say a negative affirmation? I am not unwealthy. I am not this. I am not going to overeat. I am not going to be this. I am not this. The second you say not, the universe doesn't hear that. The universe hears the key word, and it brings more of the same thing. So sometimes, even in our affirmations, we're starting out negating things. We're starting out with a negative, and we want to stay on the positive and stay on that route. So let's think of some of the things that divine love is. First of all, it's unconditional love. If you have a hard time embracing the thought of unconditional love, think of your pets, right? Your pet doesn't care if your hair is a mess or if your house is clean or if you paid your bills or anything. Your pet loves you. All it wants is love me, right? That's all it wants, and it loves you back, right? So God is the big teddy bear in the sky. God is the thing that says, I love you absolutely for who you are. No matter what. I don't care if you're a clothes hoarder. I don't care if your house is dirty. I don't care if you're in an icky relationship or your car doesn't work. I love you. It's unconditional. Another thing is that it's a transformative force, because the moment we get in alignment with, earlier in the meditation, I had us do a meditation and think about an incident or someone who had been kind to you. So just think for a minute of someone that's been kind with you. How does that feel? It feels wonderful. All of a sudden, you kind of relax because they love you. They're kind with you. They're compassionate. They're understanding. And it puts you at ease. And that feeling, you just kind of relax and say, oh my goodness. So the power of God, love, is transformative. I had us do in the meditation an exercise where we put our hands on our hearts, and we can try it if you want. Put your hands on your heart. We're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. We're going to hold for 4 seconds, and we're going to exhale for 4 seconds. Okay, you ready with me? Okay, so breathing in, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's try it one more time. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. What you've just done is you've initiated your parasympathetic nerve. And what that does is it brings a sense of peace and releases that sense of fight or flight that many of us feel when you're in the food store waiting in line or annoyed about the traffic or whatever it is. Breathe in and allow yourself to get centered, because what happened? You became present. You became present. Right at that moment, you became present. Another quality is divine love is always joyous. If you're ever in question, like, God, are these my own thoughts, or are these God thoughts, or what are these thoughts? Where did these thoughts come from? What's this intuition I'm feeling? It always comes with joy. If it's something negative, wrong picture. It's always in joy. It's always in affirmative living. And then it's accessible energy because it's oneness. We are one with the power that created us. So when we have a thing that says, the saying from the Bible that says, with God all things are possible, what more do you need? Think about that. What more do you need? What does that mean to you? With God all things are possible. And it's not a God out there that's going to fix everything that way, right? It's a God that inspires you. to be in the right place at the right time, or say the right words at the right time, or do the right thing, or make the gesture to help the person, or whatever it is. But with God, all things are possible. Now, does that mean that there's no obstacles? Does that mean that you're not supposed to follow your dream? Because, I don't know, if there's an obstacle, I don't know. There's a saying, I don't remember the exact quote, but it says, our biggest life lessons are cleverly disguised as obstacles in our life. And I'm like, oh, shut up. Because it's true, isn't it? Now, how many of you, I don't know, have you ever been in a pickle in your life or something, it's gone to hell in a handbasket and you don't know what to do? You can't figure it out. I don't know if it doesn't matter if it's a relationship, a job, your creative juices have dried up, whatever it is. Or you've gotten a diagnosis. Say you got a diagnosis that's kind of scary, right? So whatever it is, have you ever been in that pickle? Well, look around the room because probably everybody's been in a pickle, right? Well, I'm here to tell you, you made it through it, didn't you? You're here. You made it through. Whatever it is, you made it through. Now, it isn't by accident that you made it through, right? There was something in you that made it through. However you aligned yourself with that frequency of divine love that guided you to find the right doctor or the right maid or the right job or more money to create your abundance. Whatever it is, you made it through. Because somewhere in there was a deeper thought that said, you know what, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to figure out how to make this work. As we learn to overcome moments of hardship in our life, we build greater self-awareness and seek new skills. So think about that. Whenever you've been faced with a challenge, sometimes it causes us to dig deep and go, all right, you know what? This isn't who I am. I don't want to feel like that. I don't want that icky. I don't want that. What do I want to create in my life? I listened to an old recording of Wayne Dyer the other day, and he was talking about someone, being their ideal weight. And this person was very overweight, and she was like, I'm overwhelmed, I don't know what to do. And he's like, well, what are you doing? And she goes, well, I'm eating smaller portions. So he said, are you being active? Are you doing anything else like that? So he suggested, just like this teaching always reminds us, you take your mind off the problem and you put your mind on God. And some people go, I can't put my mind on God because I'm too tubby, I can't deal with it, right? Or whatever, right? But guess what happens? The moment that you put your mind on where you want to be, what your desire is for what you want to create in your experience, guess what? All the forces in the universe come to support that energy. But unless we give God a picture of where we want to go, and we say, oh, I don't want to be overweight. What did it just hear? It heard overweight. And it said, and when you're saying you don't want, right? Now we're in that negative space. So what does the universe give us more of? That negative space, right? So you say, I am my ideal weight. I have my divine right relationship. I am perfect in expressing my joy and my love. And everyone that responds to me with kindness and love and vice versa, right? So you're always feeding the universe what it is that you do want. Because energy flows, where our attention goes, always. So you always want to be giving it the instruction of what it is you do want. And a lot of times we go with a laundry list of, and another thing, God, that neighbor of mine that's a pain in the butt, and we go into all this stuff. Okay, so give yourself 2 minutes to complain about whatever it is you're complaining about, and then get off that and say, oh gosh, I got to be mindful of the fact that the energy that I'm putting out there is coming back to me. It's always coming back to me. It's that boomerang effect, isn't it? It's always coming back to me of what I put out there. So our big litmus test is, if things aren't showing up in your life the way you want them to, where do you go back to? What's my thought? Where am I putting it? What am I doing? Don't allow yourself to be limited by obstacles. I wrote that this morning. The natural flow of life will take you where you need to go. Think about that for a second. You can picture yourself, you know those hotels that have, I've never been in one, but I hear about them all the time. They have those lazy rivers, and you just sit in a little inner tube and you float around, and the thing's got a motion to it, so it always takes you around. You're just floating down the lazy river. And you just say, God is bringing me everything that I need. I'm in complete control. There was a commercial, a Visa commercial. Every step forward takes you to where you want to be. But we have to supply the image, don't we? We have to supply the image because this divine love says, I love you so much. I want only the best and highest. I want you to create everything that you desire for your life and more, right? So there's a saying, I wrote it. I don't know where I read this. I wish I could give the person credit. But it says, God supplies the food, but he doesn't cook the meal. I love that. It gives you a perfect picture, right? Supplies the food, but doesn't cook, because we're the cookers. We're the people that are responsible for creating the thing. But we're also responsible for giving the instruction to the Spirit to say, this is what I love. This is what I want to do. I mean, think about it. Think about all the hardships you've been through. We weren't here to go through all those hardships. It doesn't mean stuff doesn't happen, because stuff does. But say for instance, I don't know why this came to me this morning, but so say you program your GPS and you want to go to the food store, okay? That means the grocery store in other language. I always call it the food store. I don't know why. My brother and sister go, where did you get that from? It's like they already think I don't look like them and I'm a product of the mailman. But now they're like, where did you get that term? I'm like, I don't know. I've said it my whole life. So say you want to go to the food store and you've programmed your GPS, and then all of a sudden, while the GPS is telling you where to go with the food store stuff, you go, you know what? I'm going to stop at Home Goods first. I'm going to do that first. So when you start to go to Home Goods, what happens with your GPS? Recalculating. And it keeps trying to get you back to the food store because that's where you told it you wanted to go, right? So it keeps going, come on back in. We're going to the food. No, I'm going to Home Goods. And then if you don't reprogram it to go to Home Goods, it's going to keep sending you to the food store. And then I don't know what happens because I've never done it to the end, so maybe it just gives up and goes, yeah, you win, go where you want, I don't care. I don't know what it does. But at any rate, that's like the instruction we give to Spirit, right? Sometimes we say, oh, Spirit, I want this divine relationship. I want the perfect mate and really expressed together and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, right? And okay, we're doing all that. And all that happens, you go, oh, but you know what? Maybe I want to go off to Europe and study art instead. I'm just going to skip this, right? So sometimes we change horses in the middle, and the universe is going, all right, what was it you want? I'm not sure, right? So we have to understand that we're giving the great, great instructions to the universe. I'm getting flashed here, so I guess it must be time. Okay, we become who we are by having been who we're not. Let that sink in for a second. We become who we are by having been who we're not. Isn't that the truth? Like, you can look back at your life and go, wow, I'm so glad I'm not at that job anymore, or whatever it is I was doing, because it taught me how to rethink, how to recalculate, and get to the direction that I really want to go. And so it's about being mindful, being present, and also being aware of that divine love that is absolutely in your corner every single step of the way. So how about if we affirm together, there is one power. That power is the power that I use each and every day. I make a committed effort to become aware of my God power and to use it for my best and highest good. I am divinely guided. Now look at your neighbor and say, you are divinely guided. And what we say is, with God, all things are possible. My joy, my happiness, my excitement, my divine good is happening right now, right here in this room. I know it, I believe it, I trust it, And so it is. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Boy, people come and go so quickly around here. Boy, those minutes go by in a second. So we're going to have a beautiful song first, and then we're going to do our sharing of our treasure. So let us enjoy Elise's song.
This is I Am Loved by the lovely Karen Drucker.
You are seen, you are heard, you are loved for who you are enough, you are complete, you are I am seen, I am heard, I am loved for who I am. There is nothing I need to change. I am loved. I am loved. I am loved. You are loved. You are loved. We are seen. We are heard. We are loved for who we are. There is nothing we need to change. We are loved. We are loved. We are loved. We are loved. We are loved.
Very much. Beautiful song. God, these little bunnies and rabbits and doggies are cute, aren't they? And there's a little, I don't know what that is. That a little dinosaur? I don't know what that is. It's a dinosaur. It's very cute. A dragon. There you go. And this one has like a little can of pop or something with it. So make sure to grab those little critters and send your love in them. So this is the time of the sharing of our treasure. And so I invite you to take your gift in the palm of your hands and let's affirm together, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love, and so it is. All right. And this is the time that if anybody has a prayer treatment or something that's on their heart or mind that they would like treated for, this is the time for that. And Vincent has the microphone, so if you have something going on and you want to raise your hand and have treatment. All right. Do we have anyone that? No? Okay. Well, how about if we just do a general? Oh, yes, Anne right here in the front.
I was trying to gather my thoughts together, but I couldn't wait too long or I'd miss out, But I want to thank you for your message.
Well, thank you.
And it was exactly what I asked for this morning because I was sharing with Beverly so that I could figure out for myself how to have a more high-minded way of dealing with a situation where I was doing my very best and it didn't work for somebody. That was really too bad. And she told somebody else how awful it was, you know. And so at first I was really angry, you know, and I thought, how could she have that attitude when I'm da-da-da-da, you know? And I thought, well, that is not the attitude I want, you know. So how can I see her point of view, see where she was hurt by what I did, although it wasn't what I meant, and how can I set a higher intention? And so your words really were just like, it was like I said, Mary, could you please talk about this today? Because this is what I need. So thank you.
I must have heard you.
Yeah, so thank you for doing that. Okay, thank you.
Well, interestingly enough, anybody else going through that right now? Where somebody's responding to you in a way that you weren't anticipating, it was maybe a little negative or a little, you know, something holding back and not seeing you for the light and love that you are? Because I've been I experienced something last weekend, very much the same. And I had to do a lot of, after I had therapy with my sister on the phone going, how do I reframe this one? And then all of a sudden I went, of course. How you reframe it is, you know that God's in charge. And you say, you know what, I of myself, I'm not in the right headspace, so I'm going to let that go because my number one goal is what? I want to be happy. I want to be content. I want to be in peace. And I want to be loving to other people. And so that isn't always happening, especially when you watch the news and you hear stuff. You go, you know, and you want to get all cranky. But the deal is that everything is working out exactly the way we desire it to as long as we keep feeding those right intentions and staying in that right space and being mindful about it, catching ourselves when we start to get crabby or judgmental or whatever it is. So let's do a treatment about that, okay? All right. So this word that I'm speaking, I'm actually speaking for each and every one of us and beyond, and we're saying with Anne in her treatment right now. This is what I know. The power and the presence of God is the very essence of my being. I know this truth right here and now. I know my oneness with the power that created me. And I know that with God all things are possible. And so I'm declaring right now an open mind, an open heart, and open thoughts about where I'm going in my life and what I'm attracting in my life. And so whatever needs to be healed is healed right here and now, spiritually, mentally, physically, right now. I let God, by means of me, guide and direct me to my best and highest good. I stay inspired, I stay uplifted, I stay positive. I affirm my good, my God. And I affirm the good of those that I disagree with. I affirm the good and the oneness and the truth and the love and the light and the compassion and the power and the peace of those that I don't see eye to eye with. And I know that in the bigger picture, we are all one. And so I stay in that place of oneness. I stay in the place of mindfulness, that the power in me knows exactly what to do and how to do it, with the right words, the right action. And I honor myself. I trust in this power within me. And so I just breathe into that and let God be God by means of me right now. And I know that all things are brought in to wake me up to my magnificence, to my oneness with Spirit, and to the love that I came here to express. And so I let it be. And in gratitude, I release this prayer knowing that the law of mind is always working for my best and highest good. I let it be so, and together we say, and so it is. Okay. Did you feel that? I felt that. Yeah. All righty. Well, we're off to it's a brisk, chilly day today. It's kind of nice, kind of fun. Wakes your little skin cells up. All right, so go have a lovely day. Thank you very much for sharing your time with me. I'm honored as always, and I'll see you on Sunday. I'm doing the mini lesson, and we're doing the Science of Mind study at the beginning, so see you then. Thanks. Bye-bye.